going to do our invisible zipper sample today for our notebook. I'm going to put in the description where you can find the printables to mount it and my blog where I have all the information for all the other notebook things. You will need an invisible zipper foot, and I'm going to insert here a little information about the foot and how to acquire that. First thing you're going to need besides the actual zipper is a specific kind of foot, an invisible zipper foot. So this is what the one for my Bernina looks like, and if you look at the bottom you can see the channels, see the little, so for the Bernina it's foot number 35, but if you have a short shank or a high shank foot, you can get this, it's an adapter foot. So it actually has a little invisible zipper foot bottom, and then you can put in whether you have a high shank or low shank, so there's different shank adapters, and you can screw it onto the side of your machine. If you have the kind of foot that has a little lever in the back and the feet pop off and off on the bottom, you can get this kind of zipper foot, and they're not very expensive, under $10 for these. If you have a Bernina, it's going to be more in the, I would say, $35 range, I think, for the Bernina feet, and then I'm not sure about the others, but even if you have a Bernina, you can get the adapter so you can get the screw-on feet and adapt them for it too. So get your invisible zipper foot out, and then you're going to need an invisible zipper. This is what the invisible zipper looks like. From the outside, you see nothing. It just looks almost like tape. And the invisible zippers, it'll say on the package when you buy it, but they actually have tiny little zipper pulls instead of the wide ones. And then on the back side, you can see the teeth. So we're going to start with our scraps. I actually have longer scraps today because I only had a longer invisible zipper. This one is looks like it's a 9-inch. We're going to take our invisible zipper and we're going to unzip it. And we're going to apply right side of fabric to the right side of the zipper. So when I lay it on like this, and we're assuming we have a 5/8" seam allowance. So when I lay it on like this, I can see the teeth. So the tape side is down, and we're going to apply it like that, and then we're going to stitch down. So now I'm going to move the camera so you can see up close at the machine. And this is how we're going to set it up. Teeth are going to fit right into these little holes in the foot. Okay, so I have my right side fabric, and I'm laying my zipper down on top. So my fabric's lined up on the 5/8" line. And I'm going to open my zipper up. See how I kind of roll the teeth over? And I make sure those teeth, so if I'm sewing, if the tape is coming off to the right, I'm going to set the teeth into the left side of the foot. And that way I make sure I'm sewing it on the right, on the proper side. So now everything's set up. The other thing I have to do is make sure that it's right at the top. So I'm going to bring my fabric down. There we go. And so that automatically opens up those teeth so I can get nice and close. And you can see the needle position. So I want my needle position in the center for my foot. Now, if you're sewing something super delicate or super heavy, you might have to move your needle position. And we're just going to watch this stays on the 5/8" line, and then the foot kind of handles the zipper. We don't have to do a lot for the zipper. It just takes care of it. And then when we get close to the bottom, you can only get so far before you run into that head. So I'm going to take like one more stitch, and then I'm going to back stitch. So it's not going to go quite to the head. I'm going to have a little bit of space. And that's one side. This is what it looks like on the wrong side of the fabric. This is what it looks like on the right side. When you go to zip it shut, you actually have to roll it over like that to zip it. So here now, can you kind of see the little black teeth barely show up? But when I zip it, it completely disappears. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. So I'm going to unzip it. And I'm going to take my fabric, and we're doing the same thing. I'm going to do right side tape to right side of fabric. And this time, I like to always start from the top and work down. You can start from the bottom and go up, but you're much more likely to have movement on your zipper. So if you have a garment that has a waistline seam and you sew one side waist down and the other side hip up, you're likely to have that that seam be off. and it's going to be really noticeable. So I always like to sew in the same direction. I'm all set up and ready to go. This time I'm sewing with my raw edge is on the left, so I want to make sure the zipper teeth is on the right side of my foot. And I'm just watching my 5/8 inch line on that side. All right, so both sides are sewn. Trim off my extra threads. Now if this were a garment, I would have finished this seam allowance first. This is currently what it looks like from the right side. Here's my zipper. I haven't sewn the bottom of the garment together yet at all, but I can zip it together. And you cannot see that zipper. Look at that. Even though I put a black zipper in this light color, and then from the back side, it looks like that. Here's the head. So if this were a skirt, this is where the waistband would go on. If this were a dress, this is where your neckline would be. And now what's left is we have the bottom. Underneath, where we finished the zipper, we're going to open this up. We're going to kind of push this zipper up out of the way so I have right sides together with my raw edge. And then we can come back in right up where this starts, and we can just do a straight stitch 5/8 inch down. And I usually don't use my this zipper foot. I'll just use a straight stitch foot or a regular zipper foot, something that I can get up kind of close with it. And I'm actually going to sew towards my zipper. So I'm going to set this on my 5/8 inch line. And I'm just going to hold everything back. So I'm just going to make sure everything's pulled back so I can see, and I'm going to get as close as I can, but not quite hit it, and I don't want to hit this zipper tape either. And then back stitch. You don't want a little hole at the bottom of your zipper if you can help it. So now it's sewn together. Ta-da! That's what the bottom of my zipper looks like. You can't even tell. So I'm going to open it up for you. There we are. Invisible zipper. They're my favorites. When I teach sewing, I always have students do invisible zippers in garments first. Now this is ready to be just pressed open, and we can move on with our construction. If you're making a notebook, you can mount this under the invisible zipper section, and I'll have printables available for you.